But my teen years were growing up until I got older. Then it was a different story.
Who were the kids that you would play with at that point? Were there kids in the town or kids
Kids
neighbors?
kids in town,
Yeah.
and we got to remember we walked. I'd walk from we lived out in the country with my parents. I had to walk 4 or 5 miles and walk back, because out there in the wintertime we had snowdrifts high, and so the school buses couldn't come out there. So we walked to school and walked back.
Were there any neighbors?
Oh yeah, down the road a piece. There was the Shaws, there was the McPhersons. I remember going down and watching the Shaws butcher pigs. I'd go there and help them. And then the McPhersons they'd go out in the woods and have gunfights. 22s.
Was it
Yeah, but they didn't try to hit anybody, but they could have very easily. But that was the thing. We had fun. We did things,
And what was the town like? Was there anything to do in town?
You could walk up and down the street in about 10 minutes on both sides. We had one movie theater. Had a bowling alley where I set pins for 3 cents a string.
How old were you when you did that?
I was 13, right around there, 13, 14. And I sat pins until I was about 16 years old. Then I quit school when I was 15. I'll say 15. I quit school when I was 15, had to go work for my dad.
What do you remember about school before you quit?
What do I remember about school? I was a school bully. But if I had these young friends that come up to me and so and so, I'd take care of them. I'd have to go to the principal's office. Then we had a strap, a leather strap about 3 inches wide, about 18 inches long, and he had a handle on it with holes in it. And believe me, it hurt. So when I got one at school, I got one at home. But school was fun. I played basketball, baseball. We didn't have football for a long time because one of our friends got hurt, had his kidneys, his liver split in two. So they did away with football for a few years. But my life, when I was a teenager, was sports.
What position did you play in baseball?
I played first base, pitcher, and outfield.
And do you have any memories from baseball that were like the best?
The best? I was the best. I played semi-pro when I was 15. And I was dumb. I quit school when I was 15.
Was it because of baseball?
No. Didn't like it. But I could have gone to any college I wanted to. And that's not bragging, it's fact. In baseball and basketball. And I used to embarrass my parents. Not intentionally. But I remember one time I had already scored 25 points in the basketball game. So they pulled me out. And all the girls, because me and the girls got along good. But all the girls that started hollering, Douglas, Douglas. So they had to put me back in again. So, and as far as baseball, I could hit it a country mile. And I could, like I said, I could have gone to school, any school I wanted to in the state of Maine. But I knew too much. I was smarter than anybody else. So I quit.
So did you quit sports at that time too?
No, I was still playing semi-pro.
Mm-hmm. And with who? Like, was there like a little semi-pro league around?
Yeah, it was a town team. and we played teams around other cities and travel.
Did you get paid?
They passed the hat. We never got paid, but they passed the hat to pay for our equipment and stuff.
At the end of games?
Yeah.
I've seen that from movies and things
Yeah,
like
they
that.
passed the hat, and whatever money was there, that's what paid for expenses.
What do you remember about playing the semi-pro baseball? Did you travel around from town to town?
Yeah, I lived in Hollowell, it was 2 miles from Augusta. We played in Augusta. We played in Gardner, which is about 7 miles down the road. Farmingdale, Winthrop, all those little towns all had a team. And these were grown men. They weren't boys, you know. And so I was sitting around and they'd say, "Come on, we want you to play ball for us." So I filled in one night and just never left.
How long did you do it?
2 years.
Yeah. What did you do during the meantime? Did you work?
Oh yeah, I worked for my father when I was 15
What was that?
in a gas station, and then when I turned 16, I worked in the shoe factory until I was 17. When I turned 17, I went in the Air Force.
What was the? We'll do each one. What was the gas station like? What did it look like?
Back then?
Yeah.
Oh, we had 2 pumps, and we had a wash rack. You drove your car in, and as you wash your car by hand, you pull the rack back and forth to rinse it and wash it. And then you had a oil rack where you changed oil and grease lube. And the owners of the service station was right across the street from us. Because I worked for them when I was 13 and 14 in the restaurant. Cleaning every Wednesday, cleaned 500 pounds of lobster a week. And
so they owned a gas station and a restaurant.
right,
They were like
it was called the Worcester House.
and they were the rich family in town or something.
Oh yeah, one of the richest. And so my dad went to work for them. And then, because he told me that when I quit school, I had to pay rent. I made $15 a week when I was 15. $8 went to my mother and $7 I kept.
And then you were only there for a year.
I was there for a year because I didn't like working for my father.
Yeah.
And then I went to work in the shoe factory, making Bostonian shoes. Back then, Bostonian was the famous shoe store, shoes. And I worked with them for a year and a half until we moved from Maine to Connecticut. And that's when I went in the Air Force when I was 17.
What do you remember about the shoe factory?
I got paid $30 a week. I worked in. You turn your shoe over. You put it on a last, and you put what do we call those things? That metal piece in the bottom, and you cover it up with hot cork, and it was hot, and you got paid so much. You paid by the piece. You didn't get paid by the hour. You got paid by the piece. Piecework, that's what they called it.
So it was $15 a week at the gas station. How much do you think you could make at the shoe?
$30 a week. And half of that went to my mother.